Hi everybody, how you doing? My name is Anthony Vitti. I'm a professor in the bass department at Berklee College of Music in Boston. And I just wanted to talk a little bit today about these new Sire second generation basses. Just a little disclaimer, Sire contacted me about a month ago, asked me if I would check out one of the new basses with the improvements they were making to it. And like any other company, just to let you know, I don't endorse anything. And if people want to send me stuff, and I'll give an honest opinion about it, good and bad, and what I like, what I don't like, and that's what I try to do. I'm a rhythm section player, and from the point of view of playing behind artists and playing bass, being a bass player, and that's what I'm looking for. I like very simple things. I like my sound, just to be set. I turn the pickups all the way up, and I play like that. So let me tell you about this bass here. I have the first generation. This is a V7 Vintage, and you might have seen my review on that. I've reviewed that. I also reviewed this M7 back here, and then I have a regular V7 over here. And I like the Vintage because it has the maple board, the black blocks. They call that a tuxedo look. That's what it was called back in the day. It's like a 72 Jazz. And I always like that look. My basses all have rosewood fingerboards, my old basses, and so that's why I want the maple, because it's a different sound. It's a little more aggressive, edgy sound with the maple fingerboard. So what they did here, Sire, I'm going to talk about the differences and the features, and then I'm going to talk about the pickups in a little bit, okay? So on the intro, I tried to demonstrate different slap sounds. So thumbing things, popping things, playing high, playing low on grooves. So you got a good idea of the different slap sounds on there. As far as EQ goes for that, I had it all pretty much middle. I'll talk more about that later when I do the pickups. The new features on this, right off the bat, the main thing I could tell when I picked it up was before I even knew that this was the case, was the frets and the side of the fingerboard. One thing I always liked about my basses is that they feel kind of round, they feel kind of soft, and other basses kind of feel kind of flat. And this Sire here feels a little flat for me, and it plays great, sounds great. I use it all the time. But it's the edge of the frets are a little bit sharp, and I didn't realize that until I had played on it for a while. That it just a little bit nicking me a little bit and a little sharp on there. I'm sure you could just file it down a little bit. Just a little detail. They've taken care of that on this model. This model, the edges of the neck are rounded over, the frets are more beveled in, and there's no more of that. You don't feel that at all. So that was a big thing. Right when I picked it up, I could feel it. Just taking it out of the box, I could feel it. And this is the way it came out of the box. I mean, I literally still got the old tagger on it here. I took it right out of the box, and last night, I came up today and I plugged it in. That's the first I played it. You heard on the video, on the intro there. So that's the sound right out of the box. I mean, if I tweaked it, it'd probably be better. You can see it's a second generation here. Marcus got a second generation sticker, so all the new stuff. Here are the main differences. It's got a string tree that takes care of the A string now. It's not the old round type that Fender used, which was always a problem. People would stick an extra string tree right here. So now this encompasses the 3 strings, so it doesn't pop out of the nut here. The A string always pops out of the nut if you don't wind it down. So that seems to be taken care of. Little detail, like I said, the frets, the fingerboard, that's a big deal. All right, I believe they put a satin finish on the basses. That's a little different. That's more of a vintage feel with the satin finish, the way Fender used to use lacquer and stuff like that. It had a different feel to it, not the gloss. I like the gloss. I don't care either way, really. This bass has the vintage bridge, which I like. It's the thinner with the screws on it. So that I like it because you can set the strings different. It's also like a pre-CBS Fender bridge. They have that, and all my basses have this bridge on it. The other models have that Marcus Miller heavy bridge, and it's more like the badass bridges that we used to use, and I used to use too on my Fenders. And so those are great too. I mean, they're all awesome. This one I like. You can move the strings a little bit and get your get your spacing, to the way you like it. But like I said, this is the way it came out of the box here. Other little details, certainly the pickups noticeable. I mean, the sound, brand new preamp. It's really tweaked. I thought that slap sound was pretty good right out of the box there. I was pretty comfortable with it. You've got, this is nice detail. They changed the battery cover. You've got wood now, and the two batteries fit inside side by side in there. That was cool. I like that. I never had a problem with mine, but I guess some of the plastic tabs were breaking maybe or something, and they just redesigned that. But that's totally cool. And then they got a nice like laser etching here, Sire, Marcus Miller on the neck plate, which they didn't have anything before. So little details like that, which are really nice. Otherwise, pretty much the same, just a different serial number and stuff. So it's very familiar. Just the improvements are noticeable and really nice. You know, I felt immediately comfortable on it, just right out of the box. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the sound. As far as I was going to change the strings on the bass when I just played it, because I don't use these strings and the gauge is a little bit different for me right here. And I decided not to. I just left the Diodarios on there that came with the bass, and I played those. So the gauge is a little different for me. It took a little getting used to there. But I just wanted you to hear it right out of the box. I plugged it in. It sounded good when I just plugged it in. I said, you know what, I'm just going to play it right out of the box, and we'll see what happens, you know. So that's it. That's about it. I mean, I ran it flat there. The pickups are noticeably more punchy to me, and I like just the sound. It has this what we call like a gawking sound when you thumb it and stuff, you know. You know, it has this real gawking sound to it. I'm just running flat there, and it really is responsive, and it has that depth to it that a lot of basses kind of lack. So it really is a great improvement on there. You know, Sire's whole mission was originally to come out with this V7 and Marcus to get an affordable quality bass in the hands of younger players. I mean, much better than something I started on where we had to rent basses. You know, when I was young, I couldn't afford an electric. We rented it, and then in time when I was serious about playing, I bought one. For the price I rented one, even back in the day, I probably could have bought one now, you know, equally price-wise. So, you know, that was the point. But these new models that are coming out are definitely higher end. They're appealing to a broad spectrum now, and this is a huge improvement, which I thought this bass was great. This was my favorite right here, this vintage V7, and but this is a better version of even that. So I'm happy with that. I think I got the alder body with it, and the maple neck is really nice on this. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the pickups in a minute and about the electronics, and I'll do my best because I'm not really a whiz with electronics here, but I'll do my best to explain it. Okay, everybody, so I'm back a little bit to talk about the electronics here, the new what is called the Marcus Miller Heritage 3 pickups and preamp and everything that's in here. So really nice, a little detail. They got some writing on the pickups now. It says well, Sire, Marcus Miller on there and stuff like that. A little printing, another little detail I noticed on the pickups. So as far as the EQ goes, when you heard me play the bass intro there, as I said before, I tried to play a little bit of everything. I tried to play some double stops, so you heard that sound. You know, you get to hear high, low, some double stops, some thumbing, everything like that. As far as the sound I used, I had the active switch on, so we have an active passive switch here, okay? So, and here's the active, which I like. Active gives me a little more punch on there. As far as everything else goes, I had it flat, okay? And that's the simplest sound for me, and I thought that was a really good sound right out of the box, and I didn't tweak nothing. So what we have is bass EQ right here, okay? So this is bass EQ. Here's rolled off, that's off. Here's full on. Okay, and then I'll just back that off, okay? So it's about halfway, maybe a little bit on there on the bass. Then the next thing we have is this is a mid-cut. This is very cool. So what you have is like a parametric EQ. You have a selector here to sweep, and it's probably from about 80 hertz to about 2000, somewhere in there. And then so you can select that mid-cut. A lot of the times on amplifiers, I'm cutting the mids, about 1K or about 1200. It's about the only EQ I do. I just scoop the mids a little bit. And right here, you've got it right here. So there's a notch. I don't know where the notch is sitting, but I left it in the notch, and I left the booster cut right in the notch too. So I didn't do anything there as far as that goes. But if so wherever it is, I'm about 1K or something. If I cut that back, here's boosted. Little nasally sound. There's the mids. You know, I could sweep that. What I would do is I would sweep it, find the sound I don't like, boost it all the way. Kind of nasally, you know. You know, and then I would cut that. You know, I'd back off on it. See, that's still a little bright for me right there. So I'd find the sound, maybe cut that off a little bit or something. I left it right in the middle here. Okay. Then what we have is a treble tone here. So here's backed off. See, I kind of like that. I like a little darker sound, so I kind of back off on the treble. But I left it right in the middle. Here's in the middle. Here's all the way up. Okay, so too bright for me there. So right in the middle sounds good to me. And then the other, this is a pickup blend right here. So front to back, again, I left it in the middle. I run my basses wide open, pickups equal, and if I want to adjust something a little bit, I'll adjust the height of the pickup. I'll just drop it down a little or raise it up a little bit if I want to blend. This way I just run it wide open. I just turn it all the way up, and that's it. So this is, you know, back pickup here. Just the front pickup. So, you know, if you want more of a Jocko sound, kind of you'd roll off the front pickup a little bit, you know. You know, I like it right in the middle. Both pickups all the way up. I use the same sound, finger style and slap. Same thing. And then we have your, over here we got the master volume here. And that's right here. So I had that all the way up. The top of the dual pot, the stack knob. It's just volume right there. And then the bottom is your tone. And so there you go. I had that up too high just now. So I like that dark. Yeah, so I had that kind of in the middle. There's no notch on that tone control. I wouldn't mind having a notch there. So I put that right about in the middle. It should be right about there. Something like that. Bass all the way up. That's it. That's how I run it. I mean, pretty straight ahead. So I hope that helps. You certainly have all the control you could want as far as if you're into tweaking with sound and everything like that, which I am not. I wish they would make maybe a 3-knob version, you know, just volume, and that's it. Just gun it, you know, volume, tone, and then I could just blend the tone, because this sounds good right where it is in the middle. I personally would just leave it wide open like I do on my other bass, and that's it. I just turn it up, and any difference in sound is the room I'm playing in or the gig or something like that. So that's what I would prefer. But some people love all the control, and you certainly have all the control you could want here with this. And this preamp sounds really good. These pickups really do sound really clear, and punchy, and clear. I wasn't using anything there. I was just direct into GarageBand right there. I'm going through a Focusrite. I don't know what it's called, 1818 Scarlett 1818, a little 4-track recorder, and I'm going right into GarageBand in my laptop computer. So that's what you're hearing there. And so I hope you'll check it all out and check these basses out. Definitely give them a shot. I'm going to enjoy sitting with this over the next few months and you know, tweaking it and playing it and bringing it into Berkeley and, you know, using it on gigs and stuff like that and hearing the live sound and everything. I just had it out of the box, and I just thought I would do this right away and play it for you as it's going to come in the box. I could probably get the action even adjusted a little bit or something, but it actually feels great. You know, the action's fine. I mean, I played it right out and pretty comfortable with it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a little bit of the finger sound before I leave. I'm going to leave my sound the same. Same tone, same everything I used for the slap playing, and I'm going to play a couple shuffle grooves. I'll just go through some blues shuffle grooves and give you an idea of what the finger sound sounds like, okay? So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope I answered some questions about the new bass, and I'm digging it, man. It's great, and really some nice improvements. You know, they keep getting better and better, and I'm looking forward to some other stuff in the future coming, and I think I'll be reviewing something with an ebony board soon too, so hopefully. And thanks for watching. I hope you dig it. Leave a like.